Top 10 most peaceful countries in the world. Global peace declined by 0.42%, according to the 2023 Global Peace Index. This is the 9th year in a row that things have gotten worse. 10 of the 23 GPI indicators improved during the past year, 11 declined, and 2 stayed stable. Notably, while 79 countries had a drop in peacefulness, 84 countries observed an improvement. 3 of the top 10 countries are located in Asia Pacific, with the remaining 7 being European nations. Number 10. Switzerland. The list of the world's 10 most tranquil nations now includes Switzerland. It is important to note that despite this accomplishment, Switzerland will continue to rank among the nations with the greatest per capita exports of weapons in 2023. Switzerland slid to 11th place in 2022 after spending much of the previous 10 years regularly ranking among the top 10 most peaceful countries. Remaining in the top 10, Switzerland is a country with a very high level of social safety and security and a low level of continuous political instability at home or abroad. However, this country's startling level of militarization, about 150,000 total active and reserve army members out of an estimated 8.7 million people, prevents it from breaking into the top 5. Switzerland ranks among the top exporters of firearms globally per capita, along with other highly regarded peaceful countries like Canada, Singapore, Norway, and the Netherlands. Number 9. Japan. Japan has a population that is 12 times as dense as the United States and 3 times that of Europe. Nevertheless, it consistently achieves high rankings for both tranquility and quality of life. The National Police Agency observes that theft and other offenses are no longer relevant. The number of reported crimes has been steadily declining in recent years, reaching historically low levels. This trend is also shown in Japan's low incarceration rate, which has been declining since the 1950s. However, the Japanese frequently express anxiety about escalating tensions with China and North Korea when it comes to relations with neighboring nations. The Peace Constitution of Japan, which was put in place after the Second World War to prevent the resurgence of aggressive militarism, was construed differently in 2014 to permit collective self-defense, which came before restructuring and expansion of the nation's military capabilities. Japan is far off the top of the peace ranking due to its low scores in the per capita military expenditure and international conflict sectors. Number 8. Slovenia. According to mythology, Slovenians were left out when God allocated the land to all the nations. Since there were so few of them, they still number only 2.1 million. He offered them a little bit of heaven he had hoarded for himself as an act of contrition. One of the highest levels of biodiversity on the continent can be found in Slovenia's territory, which is half covered by wood. Within 1 hour's drive of the country's capital, Ljubljana, you may either swim in the Adriatic Sea or hike the Julian Alps. It is the most tranquil nation in the CEE region and the only one from Central Europe to make the top 10. Slovenia belongs to Europe, which is regarded as the most calm continent in the world. Thus it is simple to picture Slovenia as a tranquil nation. Slovenia, a regular in the top 10 of the Peace Report, is the best performing country in the region of developing Europe. Along with the Republic, Poland and Bulgaria also rank in the top 30, followed by Croatia and Hungary in the top 20. Number 7. Portugal. When it comes to peace and safety, Portugal follows its path. This country, which has a population of roughly 10 million, has been one of the GPI's biggest climbers in recent years, rising from the 18th position it had in 2014 to the top 10. Portugal is ranked higher than the norm for industrialized countries in terms of housing, work-life balance, personal security, and environmental quality. Portugal is also regarded as one of the top locations for expats due to its high general standard of living. Even better, you don't have to spend a fortune to experience the Portuguese way of life because the nation continues to be one of the continent's most budget-friendly travel destinations. Number 6. Singapore. Singapore has become more peaceful while the Global Peace Index report depicts a globe that is becoming more dangerous. Much more tranquil, Singapore was in position 22 when the ranking was first introduced in 2008. What caused this amazing jump? The IEP notes that whereas significant declines in peace are sometimes caused by a small number of indicators, ranking increases are frequently driven by broad-based changes. Therefore, while having a low level of continuing domestic and international conflict and good scores for societal safety and security, Singapore's militarized level prevents it from reaching the top tier of the list, where countries like Japan or Switzerland would be. Why do Singapore's police and military services require such a large number of personnel? And why does Singapore spend such a lot on weapons? Being able to control the Strait of Malacca, a narrow body of water that acts as a passageway between the Indian and Pacific Oceans, is essential for the city-state's ability to conduct seaborne trade and maintain its economic prosperity. Number 5. Australia. Since the conclusion of the Cold War, this tiny landlocked nation of around 9 million people has shifted from its outlying location on the frontier between East and West toward the heart of a unified Europe. Austria prided itself on attempting to get along with opposing political blocs and exploring novel kinds of collaboration with its neighbors as a young member of the EU and outside of NATO. While Austria does well in many aspects of well-being, including income, employment, and housing, social tensions have been on the rise recently, especially in light of the popular right-wing Freedom Party's (FP) anti-immigrant activities. When an ISIS supporter opened fire in Vienna's city center in November 2020, killing 4 people and injuring 23, the government reacted by announcing sweeping anti-terror measures that included the ability to keep convicted terrorists behind bars for life and make it easier for those who are released to be monitored electronically. Number 4. New Zealand. New Zealand dropped 2 points in this edition of the Global Peace Index after maintaining the number 2 position since 2017. This tranquil nation had nearly flawless scores in the areas of societal safety and domestic and international conflict, and it is largely regarded as a beautiful place to live. Still, New Zealand's score in the militarization domain decreased by 6% as a result of an increase in weapon imports and exports as well as modifications to armed personnel carriers. New Zealand, which is nearly the same size as the United Kingdom but with a population of 5 million, has the best health status among OECD countries and performs better than average in terms of education, employment, and wages. Number 3. Ireland. One of the richest, most developed, and happiest countries in the world is Ireland. Additionally, it is relatively tranquil. 2 years ago, it managed to move up 4 spots and take 8th place in the Global Peace Report, which was its highest ranking ever. Then, Ireland outdid itself the previous year by surpassing many of its European contemporaries and grabbing the 3rd position in the Peace Index, and we still find it there this time around. Uneasy relations with the United Kingdom for centuries can speak to the fact that Ireland did not become a peaceful country overnight. The Irish Republic is currently one of the safest nations in the world, thanks in part to its long-standing independence and neutral army. Number 2. Denmark. Since 2008, Denmark has never dipped below 5th place in the Global Peace Index, occasionally gaining or losing a spot. Such comparatively little variations in the ranking can only indicate that the kingdom is doing well. Denmark is known for its high level of political stability, journalistic freedom, and respect for human rights, making it a secure place to visit and reside. Additionally, it has a high degree of income equality and is routinely rated as one of the world's happiest countries. Number 1. Iceland is the world's most peaceful nation. Icelanders have restful nights because they reside in the world's most tranquil country. When it comes to peaceful Iceland, there is never any bad news. Since the index's inception in 2008, it has held the top rank for 16 years in a row. With the smallest population of any NATO member state, roughly 365,000, and no standing armed forces, Army, Navy, or Air Force, Iceland also boasts historically low crime rates, a world-class welfare and education system, and ranks among the best countries in terms of employment, earnings, and subjective well-being. So this is the end of our today's video. Do you like it? Kindly give your valuable response in our comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more interesting and informative videos.